In this world of healing from infidelity, there are some shifts that happen inside of you. Just the other night, Samantha was having a glass of wine. I was having just a beautiful glass of whiskey, and we were just being very open and vulnerable, talking about life and different people. And we were at an event the other day, and I said, "Hey, what did you think of, that event?" And she just kind of looked at me, and I knew exactly what she was feeling, knew what she was going to say, and it was really nice to connect. She just said, there may have been a time that was me, but that's just not me. And I said, uh-huh. And she said, "What'd you think?" I said, "I hated it." Basically, we were at an event that, I say it this way, we were at one time in the matrix, right? Where a particular message, a particular way of life may have worked. We were very innocent. We were just trying to raise kids. We were trying to be good parents. And things went south 15 years ago. The message that we now need, whether it be in church, whether it be in life, whether it be in leadership, whether it be in surviving, is a whole different type of message. There was a time when we were somewhat naive. And this event carried a message of, in many ways, to Samantha and I, just intense naivety, if you will. And then we talked to a couple of people, and I was really hoping that this would go great. I wanted to connect with these people, and I thought it would be awesome. As we got to talking and spending some time, Samantha and I both were like, no, they're great people, they're wonderful people, but we just don't do this. There is a certain methodology that we have learned from going through hell. You're going to feel the same thing. There's going to be certain messages that you hear. A good example is when you go to try and find professional help, that message that may work with general marriage difficulty is no longer going to work for you that's trying to heal from infidelity. It just doesn't work. There's a big popular message out there for general marriage trouble that says, look, stop talking about X. If you keep talking about X, your marriage is going to continue to be fixated on that X, whatever that X is. So stop doing that. Reconnect, date, go on dates, spend quality time together. That's going to help you overcome X. And that probably would work for general marriage difficulty, but for infidelity, that doesn't work, my friends. You can't really work on the marriage until you work on the infidelity. You can't preserve the rest of the relationship until you first use the infidelity as a portal into the rest of the relationship. As long as you refuse to talk about, and we'll call infidelity, why, as long as you can continue to avoid talking about why, as long as you continue to stay away from why, as long as you say, let's not talk about why anymore, you'll never get to Z. You'll never get to be able to enjoy the richness of healing and restoration and joy and rejuvenation in the marriage. A great friend of mine says it this way. He says, I like to spend time with guys that I know from being around them just a small period of time have been through hell. They smell a little bit different, they talk a little bit different, they carry themselves a little bit different because they've been to war. And I can tell you the same thing. I can talk to a gentleman, 10, 15 minutes, and I can get a read on where this guy's coming from, what he's been through. Has he been to war? Has he been through hell? Has he cried his eyes out? Has he had to survive incredible, difficult challenges? Or is he kind of living in the matrix where you just go, that's not my message. That's not how I've lived. Like, I've lost everything at least twice. I've almost genuinely tried to commit suicide at least 2 times in my life. And this person, it's just different. They're great. I love them. They're fantastic, awesome. But I'm not going to be able to kind of really walk with them on a tight level of oneness because they just come from different sides of the street, and that's totally cool. I wish I came from that side of the street. I wish I didn't go through all the hell that we've went through at some level. I wish that I was able to kind of be at that place too, right? Where things were never really that bad and things were going cool, but that's not me and that's not Samantha, and it's probably no longer you. And that's okay. In fact, that's awesome, because you have a chance to be completely different, better than you've ever been, stronger than you've ever been, more resilient than you've ever been. Samantha and I sat on the couch, having a drink, just going, I love who you are, Samantha. And she goes, well, I love who you are. And I love that we no longer relate to that message. This wasn't this, hey, it's all worked out for great, Samantha. No, never do I talk like that. I was able to just kind of say, it sucks that we've gone through what we've had to go through, but I'm so glad that we've experienced redemption. And Samantha was like, I'm so glad that we're healed. We see things differently. We're no longer living like that. I say all this and I tell these fun little funny stories for you to understand is don't be surprised that a message that you used to live on no longer carries with it the weight. See, when you come to this level, when you're starting to do recovery work, you can see through the platitudes and the BS and the lukewarm message that may have worked for one time of your life, but no longer works anymore, and that's okay. You need a new message. You need a new way of believing, if you will. And I'm not trying to change your faith or doctrine or whatever you come from, but there's a certain message that, man, that worked when it wasn't really difficult like it is now. That doesn't work anymore. As we say in Texas, that dog doesn't hunt anymore. It's time for a new message, if you will, that can speak to the pain and the hurt and the agony that you're trying to work through. Finding the right community is essential for you to begin to gain momentum with other people that will come around you and support you. I promise you it will come, but it will take time. Samantha and I thought for years, man, I just feel so alone. It was mostly me because there was a lot of people that eventually wanted to love and care for Samantha who wouldn't, as beautiful, as intelligent, as kind as she is. And then there's this guy where people were running away from me. And I remember praying, crying out, some really dark times relationally with other men. I know what it's like to be incredibly alone. I know what it's like to have nobody except maybe one guy, and he was in another state. I get it, but I needed that time alone. I didn't just sit and go, well, I need this time alone. I'm not going to try and build. No, I needed the time alone looking back, but I hated it, and I was trying to look for safe relationships that I could lean upon and trust and build with. And I will tell you, because I come from faith, I'll say it this way, that God has given me 4 men that I truly love and adore. You may not come from faith, that's totally okay. That doesn't limit your ability to have some good, strong men or women in your life to walk with you. But do not be surprised if this certain message, this platitude, kind of lukewarm message that, oh, life is okay and you're just going to get through it and keep your head up. There comes a point where you go, I need more than that. I need more than just going through the motions. That's fine for people that are walking through a little bit of financial trouble, and that's fine for people who are trying to wrestle with just, how do you raise good, strong kids and make them read and eat healthy and get them to bed on time. That's awesome. I, though, need more, and I'm sure you do too. I'm confident you're going to find the right people. They're going to smell a little bit different because they smell like they've been through hell. They're going to sound a little bit different. There's a sound that comes from what they've had to live through. There's a certain way of carrying themselves that's different that you go, yep, they've been through it. When you talk to Samantha, she's very kind. Obviously, she's easy on the eyes. She's not very pushy at all. But you know that when she's talking, there's a little edge to it because she's had to stare some pretty dark things in the face and face them and actually conquer them. My final thought today is that that's you. Man or woman, you've had to stare down some pretty dark things. You've had to face some incredibly challenging, overwhelming, discouraging, annihilating things. Keep staring them down. I promise you, there will be a whole group of people that come into contact with you one day, days, months, years, decades from now, that'll be like, man, how did you get so strong? There's a certain way of talking about you that's just, it connects with me. And they may or may not know your story. But listen, it's incumbent upon you now to keep going, to stare down your demons, if you will, to understand that there will come a time where you will smell a little bit differently too. You'll talk a little bit differently too. You will have an aroma about you as someone who's been through war and come out the other side. Platitudes aren't going to work for you. Little euphemisms of, just believe the best about everything is not going to work for you. You're going to need some real good truth. And don't be surprised if the message that you keep hearing in different places is frustrating. That's normal. You'll find the right place to get the right message. You'll find the right people and get the right process to recovery. And you'll come out on the other side and go, okay. I no longer will have that message come out of my life. I've seen too much, been through too much, stared down too much to have this little lukewarm kind of message of survival. I've had to do too much surviving and fighting myself for that message to be a part of my life. You're more than that. Don't give up on yourself. Don't give up on your journey.